like to call to order the Zion Park District regular meeting of October 20th, 2022. Kate, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Here.
Commissioner Brown? Commissioner Magiera? Here. Commissioner Rivers? President Hartman?
Here. If I can ask everybody to stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. I'll need approval of the minutes of the last meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of the Board of Commissioners and the Personal and Finance Subcommittee of the Zion Park District dated September 15th, 2022.
I have a second.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. All right, motion carried. All right, welcome the guest, Mr. Mike. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
And as you know, you're always welcome here.
Thank you.
Matter of fact, we're glad to have you.
Yeah.
So, do we
Park
want
board's
to do,
We can,
Or we
I have
wanna
him
wait?
first up on the agenda, so it'll only be, we'll get to him in about 5 minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
5 minutes.
all right, sounds good. All right, next on the list is the approval of the agenda and the additions or deletions. We don't need to go to executive session.
Correct, we do not.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as stated.
So moved. Wait, no.
No.
No. I make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
I have a second.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right. Commissioners' comments, I'd like to make one. First, I'd like to thank the summer help for all their support this year, making, again, the Park District another successful year. I know especially my heart's out to the lifeguards. But no, everybody at the Park District that did summer help did a phenomenal job, and I know everybody here echoes what I have to say, and it's definitely well appreciative. So, thank you, Eric.
Yeah, no, they did a great job. They did a great job.
All right, any other commissioners have any?
Yeah, I'd like
Please,
to say
Cheryl.
something. I'd just like to say thanks for the opportunity to go to
Yes.
this year's national conference.
Mhm.
And there was a couple key takeaways that I just
Okay.
wanted to highlight today. So one of the things that I thought was super important for us to remember moving forward for developing the new parks and playgrounds and stuff. So they talked about launch or stuff being accessible.
Yeah.
But they said it really needs to be adaptable. Like accessible, but doesn't fit everybody, but adaptable does.
Yeah, fully inclusive.
Yes,
Yeah.
full inclusive. And I
Yeah.
thought that was, in the example that they gave was a kayak launch and a canoe launch.
Oh.
And it was amazing what you don't think of.
Yeah,
And so they
Interesting.
partnered with people that could actually assist them. It
Yeah.
was a really good program.
yeah,
And then also I wanted to just mention, they talked about playground equipment. So if we get rid of playground equipment,
Mhm.
there has to be like significant use left in it.
Yeah.
But other countries are, that sounded like a really nice program.
I have heard of that. Actually, Mike and I were talking about it this morning. So,
Okay.
so we will look into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if we can definitely send it to another country,
Absolutely.
absolutely, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Going to Panama tomorrow morning, so if you'd like me
You
to.
could,
Take a
you
slide.
could take a slide or
Take a slide
take
or
a powder
swing set
jump.
with you. Take a swing set.
And then there was another point that I listened to, and it was regards to the park at David, the possible grant that we're gonna get at David Park.
Mhm.
There was a skating thing there, right?
Correct.
And they were talking about park districts now capitalizing on programming for skaters.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
just
sure.
said that that was really good to partner with organizations that
Yeah.
do that, just to keep behind
Yeah,
their
that's
thoughts.
interesting, yeah.
And then I get down here, adult outdoor fitness in Shiloh. Are we doing anything for the adults in Shiloh?
Shiloh
At the-
Senior Center?
You
you're
know,
saying?
Shiloh, the new
The
thing.
renovation
I can't
project.
remember if we had anything for adults there.
Well,
Yeah, we have board
pickleball
games,
and
Yeah.
tennis.
pickleball, and
I meant like over by the equipment, you know, like the play equipment.
Oh.
Like as
Like
far as
fitness
out,
stuff, I just didn't know. No.
we haven't. We don't
Okay.
have that in the grant project.
And
it's
I
kind of
knew
your
that you had
traditional
the
playground.
pickleball and all that stuff.
I would love to do something like that close to this facility here, whether it's kind of down by that baseball diamond or replace that baseball diamond and
Mhm.
do some kind of outdoor fitness.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
What diamond?
Just the one that's
The one-
closest here to the parking
Oh,
lot, because
yeah.
I can
Yeah.
see that being convenient for people to come in, park right there, and then just have a 20-foot
Yeah.
walk to an outdoor fitness area, you know?
That'd be
And we could
nice.
keep it well lit, secure, cameras, all that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just have one more comment, that they said that racket sports in general were growing
Yeah.
exponentially. So it's great that we're putting
Yeah.
in those pickleball courts.
It is great, yeah.
Yeah.
Pickleball's going off the charts.
Yeah.
Pickleball
So-
is.
So I thought, okay, we're right on time.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't wait till we get going on Shiloh.
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, no, those are all definitely hot topic
when we
areas.
do Shiloh, are we done put a couple of lights up?
Some lighting.
Yeah.
I don't think we have lighting in the grant, but
But I know there was when I was a kid,
you can put a quarter in it.
yeah,
Yeah,
the lights came
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
yeah. They put
That won't last
But the
long
tennis-
these
the tennis
days.
court-
put quarters in the lights.
that would-
Yeah,
Yeah,
That'd be
but
done in a week. Yeah.
yeah.
are you thinking about that or no?
I don't know that we were. I mean, it's something I guess we could talk about as a board. I mean, I think there's positives and negatives to that. Sometimes people don't want the lights on and people out there late, depending on, you know, and maybe you don't have to leave them out on very late, but,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was-
and our policy is that at dusk.
yeah, right. So if our parks are closed at dusk,
Yeah.
it's
it's
a
hard.
Yeah.
tough one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Cheryl. That was good info.
Yeah,
yeah,
That was
good
good
stuff.
info. All right. Anybody else? All right, let's move on. The treasurer's report. Entertain a motion to approve the unpaid bills.
I will make a motion to pay the unpaid bills in the amount of $112,437.13. The total paid bills of $382,850.89, and for a September grand total of $495,288.02.
Second,
I have a second. All right. Kate, could you please read the roll call?
Commissioner Pye,
I,
Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Magiera,
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers, President Hart.
Aye. All right.
Okay, so for the director's report, one of the main things I just wanted to mention was that I participated in what we call the community dialogue event at the high school this past weekend. I'm in the Zion Taxing Bodies Leaders Group, which is a group of myself representing the Park District, and then we have the superintendent of the high school, superintendent of the grade schools. We have the police chief, fire chief, director of the library, township supervisor, township assessor, the mayor, and the city administrator. So we meet probably every month to 6 weeks and talk about different ways that we can engage the community and plan events, such as the one that we had on Saturday. This one was more of a panel discussion, kind of Q&A, where we wanted to give the community a chance to talk and ask questions, and I thought it went really well. So it was positive conversation. It was productive conversation.
Wow,
And
that's
it
great.
didn't really turn negative. There was probably 75 people or so there. I thought it was good interaction and a good chance for people to, meet their, taxing body leaders. And I talked to some people after. One of them was Clyde, and so we talked for a little bit. But other than that, it was just a good kind of two-way positive feedback between residents, and people that represent different organizations. And we're going to continue to do that work. We have a follow-up meeting scheduled, I think, next week to kind of talk about the event, some key takeaways, and then start planning the next one, which will be toward the end of January. But you know, I really enjoyed being part of that group and meeting, you know, and getting to know all these people. And I do think it's unique, and Sherry Neal had said it at the time, where I think it's unique that you have a community where all of the people, you know, that represent the different organizations are really working together, you know, for the benefit of the residents, and want to have open communication and serve the residents as best as possible and partner together instead of working, you know, against one another. So it has been an interesting group, and I've enjoyed it, and I thought it was a good event on Saturday.
Good.
Other than that, just wanted to point out a couple of the activities that we have coming up. We have a one-day basketball camp with Kiwanis. That is this Saturday, okay, right, 9 o'clock. Right here in the sports arena. We also have our annual Trail of Treats, which is coming up on October 28th. So those flyers are toward the back of your packet. Hope to see everyone there. And then the IAPD annual conference is coming up in January.
Yes.
It will be in person this year. I think it was virtual for the last couple. January 26th through the 28th. It's the largest state park and recreation conference in the nation.
Yep.
Right? Brings together thousands of professionals and commissioners and elected officials from around the state. So I think it offers a lot of value to commissioners and staff members for networking and professional development opportunities. And we'll be happy to coordinate the registration for any commissioners that want to go. I'll be sure and reach out to Rick and Carolyn as well, as they're not here. But we're definitely happy to coordinate your registration. And then, you know,
Where's it going to be this year?
it's going to be at the Hyatt this
Hyatt?
year. Yeah. It's going to be at the Hyatt, so I can also give
Okay.
you the number for the Hyatt. I mean, obviously, you know, as part of our policy, Park District doesn't pay for hotel rooms for this event because it's just in Chicago. But they do pay for the conference registration. So, like I said, if you would like me to coordinate that
Yeah,
for you.
we'll talk offline on
Yep.
that.
Yep, so just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Other than that, you know, that's about it. I think we have a lot of great stuff in the director's report. So staff do work hard to really talk about what they have going on. And, you know, hopefully the board finds it valuable. And if there's something that you want to see different or you want us to add or tweak in this report, let us know, because we do really collect this information from all the staff that are in charge of different facilities, programs, you know,
I
everything
think
that's
you
going
got a
on, so
good-
it's kind of an all-inclusive. I think it is. I think it is
pretty
good.
well
and-
set up.
Yeah.
so-
yeah, and you know, like Kay will take all of her people that they submit the report to Kay, and then she'll go through it with an initial draft and revise it and stuff before she submits it to me, before I consolidate it into here. But yeah.
No, I think you got a pretty good program set up.
Yeah. December, November. I'm thinking. I don't remember.
Anything else?
So that's all. No, that is it for my report.
All right, next on the agenda is Mr. McDowell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think you all have a copy of this project proposal. Back in July, we made a kind of a pre-proposal with the idea of restoration of Esther's well. And you approved to go ahead and get some bids for the project, and then also to create a design. So that's what you have on your iPads or in front of you. You all had a copy of something that looks like this with some artistic drawings
Yeah.
of what we hope the well will look like when it's finished. So there's three parts to it. Demolition of the concrete around the well basin itself, and repouring that concrete, and then fixing minor cracks that are in the basin itself. The committee that has been meeting about this project would like to keep it as original as possible, but there are some structural things that just need to be fixed. The concrete around it is just really deteriorated too much and just needs to be replaced. And so we've contracted with Paul Rico to do that, and he can pour this concrete with aging in it. So I'm not sure exactly how he's going to do that, but it'll be new concrete that'll look old, so it kind of match the well itself. He's also going to do the fountain part of it, which is going to be very simple with a catch basin on the inside with a little pump that will shoot water up, not higher than 3 feet, it'll probably be even less than that. And even though in this picture, we couldn't really do the artwork for it, it looks like, you know, a pool there. We thought it would be much better to have a grate with some decorative stones in the basin itself. For safety reasons, we don't want children, you know, falling into the water, so it's gonna be more or less a dry fountain, kind of like what you have at the Memorial Park. So kids can't get into it. And then the next phase would be the landscaping around it with 4 benches and some grass and mulch, some bushes, and then also the electrical part. Fortunately, we don't have to tap into any of the buildings at Port Shiloh. There's actually an electrical outlet right by the where the garbage bins are, which is sufficient to tap into. So that'll be a very easy electrical hookup. So those 3 parts of the project, I guess the two, the concrete and the fountain, require the electric and then the landscaping around it. So we're estimating about 50,000. It's interesting that the day I put together this proposal, Paul calls me and says concrete went up $30 a yard, just that day. So there'll definitely be an increase in the concrete, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm just gonna estimate an increase in all of these bids, because these contractors presented a proposal, and it's not a signed contract. It's their estimate. So unlike the parking lot, that we're not holding these contractors to what they said. If prices go up, we'll probably have to pay that additional. So if you approve this project tonight with the design, we will begin fundraising, and hopefully in spring we can start working on it if we raise the money.
So what we're approving tonight is the actual going forward with the project.
Pretty much the project design and proposal.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at the new design, that looks like are those stairs that are in there?
Right. So there's two sections of sidewalk, and well, I guess you can see it in the old picture. You can see it's cracked
Yeah,
quite a bit.
yep.
And what we thought is we would just tear that piece of it out and only have that final tier. So although our artist included that section, it's not going to be there. So
Okay.
the proposal is actually to tear that piece
So it'll be
out.
flat?
It'll be flat. There'll still be that little entryway area into the concrete circle around it. So there'll be one of those sidewalks, one section of the sidewalk that will be there.
You mean
Does
that'll
that
be
make
open?
sense?
I'm just curious, wheelchair will be able to get around to.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it is gonna be accessible, handicap accessible, yeah. Maybe not here, maybe not at this entry, because we wanna keep the original sidewalk. The second sidewalk is actually in pretty good shape, and we don't need to do anything with it, so we're just gonna
Extend
leave
it
it
off.
as is. Have the new concrete age to kind of match it, and then the walkway from the parking lot to the well itself
Will be
will be handicap accessible.
It just doesn't show it in
Doesn't
this,
show it
okay,
in the picture,
gotcha.
yeah.
Is that gonna be concrete? That walkway?
Um,
Not sure.
I don't know what it's gonna be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
What do you want it to be, I guess would be a question.
What would be the easiest for a wheelchair?
Well, concrete or asphalt?
I think even now, on a cost perspective, they're about almost the same.
and whatever holds up better, I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
This
I'm sorry.
proposal does not include the walkway area.
Okay.
Is that part of the plan, or?
It is, yeah, it is,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, and then I just had a question about, did you say the rocks, the decorative rocks?
Mhm.
Are those removable?
Yeah, so I actually have to remove them to take, I don't know exactly how we're gonna do it, if we're gonna glue the rocks on, there's gonna be a grate, and the rocks will be on the grate. So that grate can be lifted up, we might need a tractor to do it, but it can be lifted up, so you can take the pump out and winterize it.
And I was just
Yeah.
asking about the rocks not going missing.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, you can glue them on.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the order of what the fire pits have with the rocks?
Yeah.
In order of something like that?
Kind of
Okay.
like that. I mean, if somebody was determined, I'm sure they could chip things out, out of it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If you're
Okay.
determined, you can do anything, yeah.
Anything else?
Wait,
So what do you mean by dry fountain? You said the word
So
dry.
there's not gonna be a pool of water
Mhm.
that.
Oh, it just,
Oh,
it
it's just
won't,
gonna be-
it
The
won't
fountain
be
will go up,
inches.
it will drain through the rocks
Gotcha.
into the
Go right
basin
through
below and, keep
Okay,
cycling like that.
Reciprocating.
I just didn't understand what that meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I will go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve the go-ahead project on Esther Wells.
So move.
I will second that.
Have a second? All right. Let's see, so that's what we're voting.
Yep, that was it, yep.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed, say nay. All right, motion carried. All right, thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Appreciate your
Thank you very
time.
much.
Thank you, Mike.
coming
Yeah,
out.
thanks for coming
Keep you
in.
informed as we,
Yeah,
I mean, this is dependent on us being able to raise some money for it.
yeah.
I guess one question that I have for you is if we raise enough to do the concrete and the fountain work, is that something we should go ahead with? Or, I mean, you can tell me later too.
I personally don't see a problem with that. I mean, we already know that the project's moving forward, so, I mean, I don't have an issue with, you running back in here and, I mean, that's,
So we've got the fountain, the concrete on the fountain, and then the landscaping. So if we did it in 2 phases, I mean, we have to do the concrete work first.
right.
Landscaping will come later. But if we don't raise enough money, if we only raise enough for the concrete and the electric, then I'd like to go ahead and do that and save the landscaping.
I'd say go for
Yeah.
it. I
In
mean, I don't,
stages.
Sure.
I don't have a problem with that. You guys moving forward with it.
All right. Well, I do have a plane to catch I'm leaving at 3 a.m. so
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
boy.
leave.
fun.
Yeah.
Have a safe trip.
Thank
All
you.
right, have a safe trip.
Thanks.
Okay, next on the list,
Okay.
lease agreement for the 16th Avenue Street.
Yeah, so we did finally come to an agreement. So Jim Rock wrote this agreement. He's working part-time. So he wrote this agreement from scratch. We asked the building owner, how do you want to proceed with this? Now we've kind of got everything figured out. I'm like, do you want to use your agreement? Do you want to use ours? And he says, we can use yours. So Jim Rock drafted this agreement. After he drafted it, we sent it to Paderma to make sure that all the insurance requirements are in there and what we're stating that we have for insurance is valid. So Paderma also reviewed it. We then sent it to the landowner's attorney, and he and Jim Rock then connected to kind of, they always have to work out the final details on the agreement. And then they came to the agreement, which we do feel is a good price for us. It's about a 3,200 square foot building, right at $2,500 a month, 12-month lease for the first initial term. So we're locked in for 12 months, which is fine, no concerns there. Well, I'm sure we'll be there at least that long, and then month to month after that. And if the park board approves this, the landowner has already signed it, or the building owner, we would be able to move in November 1st. So
That's
that is great.
Mhm.
Right
Very
before
nice.
the winter, the timing worked out well. The space is nice. I think all the guys that are gonna be working out of there are very happy with the solution.
Yeah, I don't think that building will make another winter,
Well,
especially if we have a harsh one.
yeah, so that's the agreement. If there's any questions on the agreement or the building or the facility, we're not gonna have any yard space there because we just don't need it, so we didn't negotiate or wanna pay for any yard space. We have plenty of storage at
Mhm.
Kedron
Everywhere else,
and
yeah.
wherever, so.
Couple of questions.
Uh-huh.
Do we need to add anything like electric.
You know, the
Oh.
space is really set up now for us. It's pretty much going to be move-in ready. He even has, you know, some air poles, and I'm not a mechanic, but Rich Churchirillo, who has been looking at it extensively, is like, oh, it's already got, I can put my generator over here. You know, it's got a welding table over here. I got a slop sink here I can use. So anything that we would do would be very minimal as far as lighting, and honestly, we could probably just move it from Hebron. If they wanted, like, I mean, it already has all the lighting and everything we need. So any renovations that we need would be very minimal to get this up and going, you know.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
that's great news.
Yeah,
I mean, that's-
it did work out. Like I
That's right.
said, this space was actually the building owner's shop, and it was his
Mhm.
space.
Mhm.
And then he just thought, well, maybe I'll rent it to those guys. So it's in great shape. He's a good guy.
Were
Hey.
we supposed to see anything on the exhibit A and B, because they were blank?
Yes, the exhibit A and B did not finish until after, but exhibit A is just a drawing of the space
Okay.
that the owner did, which was a very minimal drawing. And then exhibit B was like the county plot map that
Okay.
Jim Rock ended up taking off the Lake County website. So
Okay.
those will be included in the final agreement. And yeah, that's what they are.
Okay, well, they always say things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
So, I think this is the reason. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the lease agreement for the 16th Street project.
I'll make a motion to approve the lease by and between 5G Real Estate Holdings LLC and Zion Park District, as stated.
Second. I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. All right, motion carried.
Do we need a voice vote on this one?
Yeah.
It's,
No.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah, I think we do have
For,
voice vote because it's financial. It's
Oh,
commitment
didn't we?
finances.
didn't have it on there.
Okay. Well, I think we should
So we'll
just do
just
a
go ahead and
voice.
say, Kay, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Uh,
Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Magiera.
aye.
Commissioner Rivers, President Hartman.
Aye. All right, the 2023 employment health insurance plan.
Yes. So this is always the time of year where we are selecting our health insurance plan for the upcoming calendar year. This again, you know, we're part of the Paderma Health Insurance Program. And they've done a nice job, and we've been real happy with the costs and the actual insurance itself. It's a Blue Cross Blue Shield $1,250 deductible with 1,000 HRA. It's a PPO plan, and the claims administrator now this year has also been Blue Cross. So it's gone really well. We are not. They continually offer different mixes and things like that, and we always look at them, and we looked at the cost, and we always are very cognizant of, you know, our mix of employees and what our total insurance cost is. As you can see at the bottom of the sheet there, we're continuing to cover 19 employees from calendar 2022 to calendar 2023. The increase in cost is projected to be about just over $23,000, which is a difference of almost 6% increase, which, you know, given the increase in health insurance costs historically, that's a manageable one, right? And so, you know, I just think it's important, very important for the district to, you know, provide benefits that allow us to attract and retain a quality workforce, you know, that's, you know, in competition with private sector wages. You know, we made the change, I believe it was last year was the first time it was implemented, where employees are paying a percentage of the premium. So we'll keep that in effect. So based on the type of coverage that an employee selects, they're paying a percentage of that premium. And with premiums going up, that means the employee contribution is going to go up because they're paying a percentage. So I'm not recommending any change to that. Same kind of structure. So it is really just effectively to continue what we're doing now, you know, is what I'm recommending for 2023.
So the increase is strictly just the increase of the policy? Are the 1,250, the 1,000, and the 500, those are all Same?
Yeah, those are all the same.
Okay, so.
So-
what- So the HRA
Mm-hmm.
and the FSA,
Mm-hmm.
what,
So the FSA is the flex spending account,
Right.
right? So we offer the flex spending account because the district doesn't offer any vision or dental insurance. So the flex spending account is a plan where employees can contribute up to, I think the amount right now is about $2,600. An employee can contribute pre-tax to their own FSA, and the district contributes that $500 there. So that money can be used for qualified medical expenses such as contacts, dental visits, whatever. So that's the flex spending account. And the HRA contribution, again, same as, and we've done this for a while now, where we mixed like the deductible with the HRA, something that Paderma started offering about 4 or 5 years ago, and I think that's when we kind of jumped on it because the HRA is like an offset to the deductible. So the HRA, may or may not kick in full. If someone doesn't use the insurance at all, there is no HRA payment made. If someone has major surgery, it would kick in the full $1,000 of the HRA. So yeah, this plan is, like I said, the same plan and the same offerings that we had last year, and it was really good. I mean, we took a look at the HMO before. I don't know if you recall, we offered the HMO a couple of years ago. None of the staff really chose that plan, so we discontinued it. I'm not suggesting that we reinstate it for the upcoming year. And so yeah, the dollar increase is really the change in premium. So covered employees remains at 19. As you know, we lost, a couple employees this year. Both of them did have the health care plan. We replaced them for the most part with contract. Well, we replaced one employee with another employee who both still took single coverage. And then on the other employee, we didn't replace him. We replaced him with contract labor. So we didn't, because we're always cautious of adding because of this cost. And then otherwise, it could just be a change in coverages from year to year, right? So if someone has family coverage, but then their child ages out, and their child becomes 26, 27, I think it is, then they just have employee plus spouse, or whatever. So
Whatever it is.
right, however it changes.
Okay. All right. Anybody
Yeah.
else have any questions? All right, I will entertain a motion that we approve the 2023 Employment Health Insurance Plan.
We should probably roll call now.
So move.
Okay.
I'll second it.
I have a second. All right, all in favor?
These
Say
are all
aye.
roll- These
It's
should all be
roll
roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Magiera,
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers, President Hartman.
Aye. All right, the BS&A.
Yep. So BS&A is our current financial software that we use, and they have been working on a cloud-based solution of the software. So it's effectively the same software, but it's hosted in the cloud, which a lot of software vendors are going that way now, right? Just the cloud-based solution. So we really like the software. It's been great for us. We would like to upgrade to their cloud version, which currently has a 1-year wait time on the implementation. So, even if we want to get on their schedule now to hopefully at this time next year be able to upgrade to their cloud solution, which offers a lot of benefits from the standpoint of we don't have to manage the software on our server anymore. So if there's any damage to our server or, virus to our server, we don't have to worry about that, right? It's all up in the cloud. All the backups are done in the cloud. I believe BS&A utilizes Amazon servers for their data solution. It allows them to make patches and implement patches and upgrades to the software kind of seamlessly. You don't have to go in and say, oh, download the latest update. It's just in there when you log in. Makes it much easier if people are working remotely or logging in, checking on stuff remotely. One of the benefits that I can already see, for example, is I can give Alan access, for example, to BSNA in the cloud, which he doesn't have access to now because our BSNA program is on that server, and he's not tied back to this building. But if we have the cloud-based solution and I can give him access, he can log in at any time on like a read-only basis and run his reports and dig into stuff. So it's very beneficial. You know, I think there's a lot of benefit to it. Like I said, we'd like to get on their schedule now for an implementation a year from now. That if the board were to approve this, there's a $4,000 cost at this time. The total project cost and the implementation, training, all of that is like it's $19,915, which is like our cost to convert, which includes training, and then going forward, it's going to be about an $8,000 annual cost of the software. And right now, we're paying about $6,000 for the software.
So the modules, so it says financial management modules. Is that like you taking 5 days and learning that? What does that mean?
Which page are
So
you?
it says services include, and they talk about software setup, 3 days, financial management modules,
Yeah.
5 days.
Right.
Well, what does that mean?
So that's the implementation and training. If you kind of keep scrolling down
Yeah.
a little bit,
Because I see
Training
financial
online.
modules and I see modules.
yeah, it's all so we use 3 different modules in the software. We use the general ledger, the accounts payable, and the cash receipting. So those are 3 different modules of the software we use. For example, we don't use the payroll.
Oh, I was
we don't
thinking
use the
modules of like training modules.
No.
I
Oh.
couldn't figure out what they
Well, but they
Okay.
will. But there will be a training aspect of it when we convert because there's
Yeah, I see
functionality.
implementation
Yeah.
and training for
Yeah, the
grants.
functionality is just a little bit
Functionality's been
different.
Yeah.
But if you see the travel expenses here, I was talking to the guy, and we don't. This is their travel expenses to come to us.
Yeah, that's pricey.
Yeah, we don't need to do it. We can do it all remotely.
Okay.
There's no reason why they need to come here.
I was
and,
like,
and-
what?
yeah, I agree.
Shit, when
Yeah.
is this company hiring?
So we'll still have the training cost of $8,000 just
Right.
because that's their training cost, but we don't need to pay them $4,600 to do it in person.
Okay.
We can just do it
Do it.
over Zoom,
Zoom,
remotely, whatever.
yeah.
I mean, the software itself is in the
And
cloud.
plus, you're
Yeah,
already
yeah,
using
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
The software, so it's just a matter of
Yeah,
going to
so
the cloud.
we have a real good understanding of the functionalities of the
Yeah.
software and what it does, but the cloud-based version is just a little different,
Yeah.
you know.
It
so.
won't take hard to learn.
No, it won't be hard to learn. So I'm seeking the board's approval to, agree on the total proposed amount of $19,915. With a down payment amount effectively of $4,000 at this time.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions. One, if it's in the cloud,
Mm-hmm.
let's say a person could tap into.
Correct. However,
Right.
that's another thing that's great about it because we don't have to worry about the
The security side.
cybersecurity side
Yeah,
of it,
that's
right?
not- yeah.
But
Right
they cover
now,
all.
anyone could hack into our server through a backdoor and scramble our database. But if it's in the cloud, all of
They
that
can't.
cybersecurity goes on the vendor,
And
and
they're
they're going to do a much better job
Yeah.
of it than we can even imagine to do.
Right.
And they'll do a much better job of backups and things as well.
Protected.
Yes,
And they're
correct.
responsible.
Right, and they're liable for it, absolutely. And
Yep.
that's one of the reasons why it's a little more expensive than just the regular version. You know, you're getting more.
You were talking about Ellen tapping in
Yeah.
email.
Yeah.
Why was he tapping at home?
Why would he?
Yeah.
Because he works nonstop.
Plus,
And he texts me at all hours of the night and says, I think I'm going to end October at plus $2,000 more than last October.
Exactly.
And then he'll say, how come my October numbers were 8,000 less for the first 14 days than last year? Can you think of something? So I'm going to go, Alan, log in, dig
Figure
in,
it out.
yeah,
same
and
reason
compare.
he sits
Right.
home and watches the
Because
camera.
that's
What?
yeah.
He tapped you all hours of the night?
Yeah, well, at least 10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not
Okay.
that frequently, though.
I get a life.
He's always projecting where he's at day by day.
Well,
like,
he sits on that camera too at home
yeah,
and watches everything that goes on.
yeah.
Why?
Okay, I'll entertain a
Yeah.
motion that we approve the BSNA Financial Software Cloud Upgrade Proposal.
I'll make a motion that we approve the proposal for the Zion Park District and BSNA software in the total amount of $19,915.
And second?
Second.
Okay, could you lead the roll call?
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Magiera,
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers, President Hart.
Aye. All right, the floor scrubber.
Okay, so this last idea is a little different.
Oh, this thing's
Just a
cool
little.
as hell.
And if you can see the picture in there, it's a little bit outside of the box thinking here. But I'm sure you may have seen, autonomous floor scrubbers in places like Home Depot, Menards, Target, whatever, right? Basically robots, cleaning robots, right? So when we, lost our second full-time maintenance person this year, it was like, what are we going to do, right? And my first thought, semi-jokingly, was we'll get a robot. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, that might be possible. Thinking about Menards and stuff. So we started researching them and end up finding this Kobe 18 from Ice Robotics, and called the salesman, and he came out and gave us a demo here at the facility. So it was myself, Todd, Rich Churchirillo, and Terry Staples all watched this guy work his robot, which honestly is like brand new technology. This thing just came out like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's brand new, and
Hope they got the kinks out.
Yeah. I was gonna
yeah,
say,
yeah.
that's
Oh
kinda
no,
young.
it's pretty smooth. So
It's kind of young.
yeah, and so he tested it. We started to test it. We tested it upstairs on this tile floor here, and it goes around. It scrubs, it vacuums, and then it squeegees as it goes, right? And it's really cool because even that squeegee leaves the floor not wet like if you mop it and it's going to be wet for 10 minutes. I mean, it squeegees it like your windshield on your car almost, to the point where it's only wet for
It's dry.
not even, less than a minute. So it's safer from that aspect. So then we tested it on multiple surfaces because it's not a Roomba. It's not like a vacuum. It's just for hard floors,
Hard
right?
floors.
And we actually have a lot of different hard floors in this facility, right? We have tile up here. We have like that rubber floor that's downstairs in front of the hut and the lobbies, which is a little different. We have two real different surfaces out there in the arena. As far as the basketball is more of a rubber surface, but then the track is a little bit more textured. And then also in our fitness facilities, whether it's the CrossFit room or in the weight room there, that's again like a workout kind of rubber floor. So we tested it on all those, and it did a great job on all of them. It didn't do the best job on the track because it's just a little bit rougher. And it will clean it, but it's slower on the track. We still do have our floor machine if we needed to run it on the track, which is like the big floor machine, looks like a tractor almost. But for cleaning all the other surfaces, this thing was awesome. And it has different routes that you can program. So for example, you start it by like mapping out your facility. You kind of go around and you drive it around, you push it around because it's only probably this wide by this high, right? And then it learns the facility, it learns the map, and then you can store that as like map A. And then you can store, I think it's like up to 36 different routes. So you can tell it to, in this run, just clean A and B. And in this one, go A, B, C, D, and so it'll work its way around cleaning and come back. They market it as, you can clean floors for basically $15 a day, right? Now minimum wage is going to be $13 an hour in January. And we can run it multiple times a day.
And still save money.
Right. And it's really cool.
What happens if someone leaves a shirt, if someone drops their keys?
Yes. So it has, I really can't do the description on the technology in this thing like justice as far as how it basically sees where it's going. This section here uses like a combination of what the guy described as like radar and LiDAR
So it
to
kinda-
send like a beam out and just really know where it's at.
So anything in its way.
Anything in its way, it will divert around.
Go around it.
Okay.
Correct,
Okay.
yeah. And we tested it too, like Terry Staples, when we were testing it in the CrossFit room, you know, he turned the lights off. And it's still,
Still got around.
yeah, because the guy's like, oh, it works
It's
really
that
good in
light.
low light, and Terry Staples was like,
It's the
lights
light.
off.
Well,
And
has
it
the
worked.
light radar on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It was really neat.
So no one's
Um,
losing their job if you get this, is what you're saying.
No, it just allows us to be less sensitive to staffing concerns. And less, and it cleans better. And what we can do is, this thing can clean floors, and the staff that we have can clean bathrooms, right? We wouldn't send it into bathrooms. We would not send it in there. But staff can spend time doing other things. Instead of mopping this whole floor or mopping that, let this thing run, let it do that, let it get the salt in the winter, let it squeegee and scrub all the basketball courts.
So how do you get it up without, like, it must be heavy.
It is. So initially, I wanted to get 2. But the pricing, after negotiating with this guy for a period of time, didn't work for 2. So I'm only proposing that we do 1 at this time.
Just
And just the
And-
downstairs?
Yeah, and test it out. Now, we always could bring it upstairs. We could go outside and up the ramp around and bring it up if we wanted to use it upstairs for a while.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't make sense to be moving it up and down every day. But that would be the plan.
Well, I think Cheryl made a good point about this thing only being out for 3 weeks, and you know the old saying,
Yeah,
as soon as something comes on the market, you don't go run out and buy it if they haven't
Right.
been through the.
oh, they've tested it quite a bit. I mean, their main customers are hospitals and like big box
So
retailers.
this thing's already out there.
Yeah, it's already being used in hospitals.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
they
okay.
had hospitals signed up and ready to go that were using like their older one.
Is
Right.
it a lease?
It is a lease.
Okay.
So it's a 36-month, it says subscription, but it's a 36-month lease. At $16,164 if we pay it all in one shot. So you're talking about just over $5,000 a year. Which I was actually surprised at that pricing. But yeah, so the pricing is 36 months, $16,164 total.
Where is it? Is that listed on?
I don't know if I
don't
put
think
that
we
in,
have that in
but
our-
here's,
our pack.
I printed
Oh,
that. The guy
okay.
gave me a ton of information.
Did you see it, Phil?
No. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and it really is easy to use. Actually, I have it on my phone if you want to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When the guy was doing the demo, we were recording it. Pretty cool.
Well, if this thing's being used in hospitals, then they probably already did the homework to make sure.
Mm-hmm. So here we were testing it going across the different floors. And it has in the front, you see that little kind of blue bar on the top?
Mhm.
You can just flip that blue bar back toward you and use it manually. And just use it as a manual
Now, is there a
floor scrubber.
container tank under there to
There's
store
a
it?
container tank, right, that you can fill with water. You can also put cleaning solution in it if you want to use solution on it.
How about wax?
So I
or
see that
anything?
it's not
No.
getting the whole floor. Is that just because how we programmed it?
Where at?
Like, it doesn't look like it's getting the whole floor.
Brushes.
Oh, he just,
Remember the brushes, Eric?
yeah, but he set a, are you talking about the perimeter that he's got?
No,
or
no,
where?
it was like, there would be like this line, and then there was another line, but in
Oh,
between, they weren't clean.
yeah, so
And I
like
didn't
what
know
Todd
if-
was saying, like the brushes that are on the side of it.
Yeah.
He was saying we would use different brushes for this floor.
When
for
he
this
was
facility.
demoing it, he did not have the brushes on.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why it doesn't look like it's
But with the
hitting every
brushes
Like a
on
long
spot.
border where you can
it
see the
would
lines.
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
But I think it's interesting. I mean, automation. I mean, unfortunately, automation really kind of is the future when you can automate stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, you'll
Yeah.
see that now when you go to McDonald's. Instead of ordering in person, you're going to be ordering on the kiosk, pushing in buttons. That's like a
Mhm.
form of automation. The guy was saying, don't be surprised if in the future you see drones going around, like cleaning high ledges and cleaning lights and stuff.
Hey, I'm waiting
Who
to see
knows,
these
but-
in hockey rinks,
Yeah,
using it to clean the rinks
something like that. Yeah,
between periods,
yeah.
instead
So,
of driving it.
I know it's outside of the box, but
Imagine that, Jess?
I'd like to give it a try. But
Yeah,
Okay.
my
It's up to you.
only concern, but you already talked about it, was I wouldn't want someone to have lost their job because of this.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it's,
no.
Right,
No.
right.
No, it's definitely not going to replace the staff that we have. It's just gonna let the staff that we have do other
Yeah.
functions.
Yeah.
They'll
Other
just
functions
do
are
other
what they're
things.
doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. We have good staff, yeah.
All right.
What? Couple more questions. Let's say some new bikes, would they come out and fix it?
Yeah, that 36-month term and that dollar amount is a all-inclusive maintenance plan and everything. And what's also cool is that thing will, if we save all the routes and get it all set up for our facility, it also uploads that information to the cloud. So if this thing breaks and they need to bring us a new one, we just download it like if you're downloading a new iPhone, and then like boom, it's ready to go.
You
Yeah.
can watch it from at home. Give some
Yeah.
Alan to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it uploads the data of its usage like on a website, so it tells you how many hours a day it's run, when it's been run, and then it calculates like a cleaning score of what it cleaned.
Mhm.
So you get some data off a website from it as well to see how effective it is and how much it's being used. So
Okay, any other questions?
No.
Okay. All right,
Try
I'll
it.
entertain a motion to approve the anatomus floor scrubber.
Either someone's gotta give me that sheet or Jess has gotta make the motion.
oh yeah, for the dollar amount.
Yeah,
There you go.
So it's just
Got it.
one. It's just one, Cheryl. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I will, make a motion that we approve the Kobe 18 subscription, for a 30-month subscription, in the prepay, wait, are we prepaying it?
Yeah.
Prepay
Yeah,
amount
we'll
for
prepay.
16,164, which is $7,188 paid annually.
No, that would be the second option. If
Oh,
you,
sorry.
If you paid
Okay.
annually, because if you multiply that by 3, it's like 21.
Oh, gotcha, okay,
Yeah.
so, let me just clear up, it's for the 36-month subscription for $16,164 prepaid,
One-time payment. Yeah.
one-time payment.
All right, I have a second.
Second.
Okay, could you please read the roll call?
Commissioner Pye?
There you go, you're here.
Okay, Justin. Commissioner Brown? Commissioner McGarrett?
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers? President Hartman?
Aye. Okay, anything else, Eric? All right, I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn the meeting of October 20th, 2022.
I'll second it.
Have a second. Kate, please read the roll call.
Wait, hold on.
Jesse,
Yes,
and
Jesse,
I, and Cheryl.
Cheryl, and it is 7:52.
thank you. So we need a roll call for that, or are we doing a voice?
Yes, roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown? Commissioner McGarrett? I'm
Aye.
not gonna ask you that. President Hartman?
Aye.